In this walk with God, you must know when seasons end. And there are friendships that seasons end. And then you're trying to pull it, stretch it. Oh, because it's so easy for me to make friendships, I just be diving into friendships. I'm the common denominator, so clearly I'm the issue. It cannot be everyone else. And when you're not aligned with God, you're gonna end up meeting people you were never supposed to meet in the first place. Okay? Welcome to Anchored by God. Welcome back, welcome back, welcome back. If you are new here, my name is Landrine and this is a faith-based channel, and over here we talk about all things God. If you like what you see, don't forget to comment, like, and subscribe. Now let's get right into this video. Today we're going to be talking about friendship. Did God call you to that friendship, or did you just insert yourself in that friendship? Okay. All right. I know it's a little bit different because everybody's always talking about relationship, romantic relationship, but I really want to talk about godly friendships and ungodly friendships, ungodly soul ties. When we look in the Bible, one of the friendships that we see in the Bible is Jonathan and David. If you have not read that story, I highly recommend that you go and read that story. People even say that they had a soul tie, a healthy soul tie. Watch it now. So some scriptures that I could think of that briefly touch on friendships right now is Ecclesiastes 4:9. I know a lot of people use this for romantic relationships, but I also think you could use this for friendships as well, or just any relationship at that, because it says that two are better than one. And then another one is Proverbs 17:17. The first part of that says that a friend loves at all times, meaning through thick and thin. And we see that with the story of Jonathan and David in the Bible. And then we know the scripture that goes a different direction a little bit, that says that a bad company corrupts good character. So these are some scriptures that kind of give us an idea of what a friend should be. I also think you could use 2 Corinthians 6:14 for friendships as well. Do not be unequally yoked with unbelievers, because what business do you have walking with someone that you're not aligned with? Okay? I don't want to hear no, oh, we grew up together, we've known each other our whole lives. No, just stop. Okay, stop. Okay, so today I'm going to touch on 3 different points. My relationship with friends has always been kind of easy. It's always been easy for me to make friends, even when I was in school. I think it's just my personality. I love people. I'm not afraid to start talking to people. So, of course I've experienced people that didn't want to be my friends, and I've experienced a little bit of bullying when I was younger, but for the most part I can't really say that I've had times where I just never had any friends. I've always had friends. So that brings me to the first point: waiting on godly friendships. Earlier on my walk with God, I was about 22 years old when, I started feeling like God was calling me to pull myself away from certain friendships that I was in. And I was kind of like, how about not, God? Okay, because I can't just not have any friends. I need friends, So how about, when you're trying to work out a deal with God, you're like, okay, how about we do this? How about you give me godly friends, and then I'll let go of these friends? But, that's not how it works, right? So I do remember just not being interested in the same thing my friends were. So I was around 22, 23, I would say. So there's a lot of clubbing and, actually there was just a lot of clubbing. There was a lot of going out and partying, okay? And that just was not my desire anymore. It just wasn't something that I was really interested in anymore. And I'll still do it because that's all my friends did. When I was pulling away from those friendships, it was kind of easy because I was like in a different place, so it kind of just happened naturally, which was, God is awesome because he will help you if you ask him to help you. So I just also wasn't pushing the, oh, hey, I haven't seen you in a while type of, conversations or whatever. It just kind of naturally happened that me and the girls kind of just went our own different ways. So that goes into the bad company corrupts good character, because although I did not desire that anymore, but because I was around people that did that, my friends that did that, I was like, what else are we gonna do for fun? People are very much grown and they still think the only way to have fun is going to a club, drinking, turning up, and I'm not trying to judge, but I'm just saying, like, depending on who you're around, people call fun different things, right? So that was like my first initial call or feelings that the Lord was calling me away from a certain group of friends. And I had to just walk away and be obedient. So the second point is having unordained friendships. So just like you could be in a relationship, a romantic relationship that you were not called into, you could be in a job you were not called into, have, you know, be places where you were never supposed to be. Is the same way you could have friendships you were is the same way you were supposed no it's the same way you can have relationships with friends that you were never supposed to have in the first place. When those relationships ended, I ended up going to the church that I was going to, and then I ended up meeting some of my best friends till this day. Going into the second point, having got ungodly can I speak English today? What's going on? Okay, let's try this again. So if you are not aligned with God, if you are not aligned with his will, then you will find yourself in situations and places and doing things that you were never supposed to. And when you're not aligned with God, you're going to end up meeting people you were never supposed to meet in the first place. Because when I was going through a divorce, I decided to pour into friendships that were not really aligned with God's will. And it was friends that, you know, were Christians that were doing their own thing, you know those Christians that it's like we love God, but we also love our flesh. Okay, so I got myself involved with those types of friends, and I started to kind of stray away from God, doing things that I stopped doing. God already done delivered me from doing. I went back to doing that stuff because I was now unaligned with God, and because of that I ended up having relationships with people that I was never supposed to have relationships with, which pulled me back, you know, into sin. It pulled me back into a lifestyle that God had already delivered me from. I think it's very important to cultivate a relationship with God where you ask him for directions for everything that you do, involving the type of friends that you end up with. Okay, one of the friendships that I was in when I was not aligned with God, that friend had a monitoring spirit in them, had a spirit of jealousy, and there was just a lot going on with that friendship. And I don't want to get too deep into details, but some friends, some people in our lives, it may not necessarily be them, but they may have all these spirits in them that is supposed to destroy the people around them, destroy the relationships around them. Something good happens to you before you even thank Jesus, before you say, God, thank you for blessing me with that job. You're calling your friend like, yo girl, I got that job. And the whole time the enemy, maybe they can't see directly what is going on with you because God is protecting you, but the devil's like, you know what, it's all good. I know what we're gonna do. We're gonna send somebody who has the spirit, because this girl chats too much, she talks too much, and she's gonna tell this friend all her business. And through that, we're gonna know what's going on with this girl's life. Through that, we could cause and send blockages, which is something that had happened to me with that friend that I'm telling you guys about. Okay, the only reason I knew it is because I started rebuilding my relationship back with God, and he started to expose to me why he wanted me to stop being friends with this person. And when God asked me to stop being friends with this person, the thing is, I started pulling away from this person, but because we were so close, I was kind of like I don't know, maybe I'm tripping, maybe it's not really God, but I was just feeling something was just telling me that it's time. If you're not aligned with God and you don't have your discernment, your antennas aren't up because you are not connecting with God, you're not going to know that, oh, this person that you are close with, this person that you're telling all your business to, is walking around with a monitoring spirit. Because of that situation, I was like, I'm not just about to be friends with anybody. So later on, you know, I just kind of was very protective of my space. God had already sent me 7 good friends, okay, and other friends outside of that. Anybody that wants to come into my life from this moment on, I'm asking God first. I met somebody, we vibed, right? But we exchanged numbers and everything. But then I had to go home and be like, hold up, wait a minute. We're not about to make the same mistake again. So I prayed about it and asked God, and I believe God said, no, this girl is not your friend. Okay, not because, didn't tell me no specific reason, but I just felt like, yeah, this friendship is not supposed to happen. But I didn't really allow this friendship to grow. And yeah, okay, the third point is seasonal friendships. What I've learned too is that sometimes you're going to be friends with people that God did send, but that friendship is not supposed to last a lifetime. That friendship is only for a season. It being for the season doesn't mean that there's something wrong with that person or there's something wrong with you. It just means like this person was sent in your life just for that moment because maybe you needed this or they needed that. But you have to know when seasons end. In this walk with God, you must know when seasons end. And there are friendships that seasons end, and then you're trying to pull it, stretch it. You know when that person ain't supposed to be in your life no more. You know. You sense it, you know it, you feel it, but you're not trying to let go. Let it go, let it go. Can't hold back anymore, or whatever the lyrics are. The fourth point, did I say 3 points or 4 points? I don't even know what I said, but I think I said 3 points, but we're now at number 4, which is fine. It's actually, we could group this along with seasonal friendships. And there are other friendships that are lifelong friendships. And I don't think there's many of those. I'm not even gonna hold you. I don't think there's a lot of lifelong friendships. When I say lifelong friendship, these are friends that you remain close with for almost what it seems like a lifetime. You know, where you guys are keeping up with each other's lives. You know what's going on. You guys like communicate. You guys make time to see each other, hang out. Yeah, I just want to go back to the season thing. When I say seasonal, it doesn't mean that some people you just probably won't talk to again, but it doesn't mean you have problems with the person. It doesn't mean you're low-key beefing with the person, because God called us to peace, to be at peace with everyone. So even if the friendship is seasonal, even when you guys pull away from each other, you guys will still be cordial. But that does not mean that if you guys see each other, you guys are going to be side-eyeing each other. That's not what I mean by seasonal friendship. That's not what I mean. If you're all here causing problems with everybody, then baby, you are the problem. You are the problem, and you need to go to the Lord and ask God what it is. Because I had to do that. I had to go to God and be like, Lord, what is the problem? I went through a period where I had to keep breaking up friendships. Okay, broke up friendship number 1 because I felt like God was calling me to break the friendship up. Broke up friendship number 2 because I felt like God was calling me to break that friendship up. Number 3, 4, 5, I was like, oh, hold up. I'm the common denominator, so clearly I'm the issue. It cannot be everyone else. Okay. That is because I was getting into friendships that I was never supposed to get into. I told y'all the reason was because I was jumping into friendship. Because it's so easy for me to make friendships, I just be diving into friendships. I got tired of breaking people's hearts. So now I just ask the Lord, honestly. Like, I don't even have, to be honest, I don't even have the capacity for any more friends. I'm not gonna lie. That is all I have for today. So ask yourself the question, did God call you into that friendship, or did you just push yourself into it? Check yourself before you wreck yourself, okay? Don't let nobody be in your life that ain't supposed to be in your life. Always ask God. Every friendship, always bring it to the Lord, because the relationships we have in our lives and the people that we allow into our space, they really matter. It really matters, and you have to be careful. Not everybody that calls himself a friend is sent by God. I don't care how long you know them, like I said before. I don't care, you know, how much they've been there for you at one point in time in your life. I'm not saying to not be grateful. I'm just saying that make sure you check with God with the relationships that you have, because trust me, the devil answers prayers too. The devil sends people too. And that is all. I hope you liked the video, and I hope you subscribed, I hope you commented, I hope you hyped this video. Until next time, bye.